John Weiser with you from the Tarble Arena as we're getting set for a big ball game tonight as the Lady Reds and Redmen getting set to take on Millikin. It's my pleasure to bring in a very special guest, one of the alumni participants in the alumni game here today, the second all-time leading scorer in the history of Carthage College basketball, Jason Wortell. Jay, it's good to have you aboard.
Wonderful to be back. Thank you, Johnny Wise.
A lot of fun, a lot of good memories, and guys getting together here for a good time today.
Yeah, it's nothing like coming back here and seeing the fellas getting up and down the floor a little bit, trying to act like you're still in shape. Yeah, we have fun. We got the old guys against the young guys, and the old guys found a way to get another one in there. 101 to 86. That's how you got to get it done out here.
You guys still have fun. Despite the age, you guys have a good time out there.
Yeah, we're not aging. At least we think this. We say we're not aging. There's nothing like it. I mean, you see some of the guys that you only get a chance to see once a year. Lives are busy now. Everybody's working and starting their families and moving on with their lives. But this is kind of the hub where we can come back and cherish the times that we had here together. And wish we could do it more. Every once in a while we'll get together besides this, but it's very tough. So we take full advantage when we're here.
You're busy. You got a nice family. Got three nice, lovely-looking daughters here. And little Lucy here, 7-month-old, just breaking everybody's heart here.
Yeah, she's got it together here, blue eyes and hanging out, skipping naps and feeling good. I got Gracie running around causing trouble, eating Jelly Bellies, and then Allie's rocking cartwheels at center court right now. So it's wonderful to have Sarah here. She's obviously a Carthage grad, played volleyball here, met her here, fell in love, and we've gone on to start something special here with our three little ones.
So what are you up to now? I know you went on, got a teaching license and teaching and doing some things down in the Lisle area.
Yeah, I'm teaching and coaching, enjoying that. I teach advanced computer skills, got a couple degrees past that. I think I'm just going to stay in that little market because it's enjoyable. And coach a baseball team, varsity baseball. Went on to win a state title in Illinois a couple of years back, and it was really rewarding to see some kids that I'd been coaching since they were in 7th grade and see them move on to the college level and really have success and something I'm passionate about, high-level competition, and that's what I try to coach.
How much of that was influenced by your head basketball coach, Bosco?
No, there's nobody like Bosco. I hold him as obviously the most incredible coach that I ever had the opportunity to play for. I learned a lot of valuable lessons from him in my years here, as a player, as a grad assistant, and as somebody who, he took in and allowed to live in his house. He's a wonderful husband. He's an incredible father, and he's a passionate coach. And I honestly can say that that's 100% factual. I've never seen anyone embrace his family, like Bosco does. He cherishes his kids. He cherishes his wife. And I love his nature on the court. I love how he comes out and competes, and he expects greatness out of his players. And I'm hoping that he can find a way to get greatness out of them sometime here again soon.
He's working on a milestone here tonight. If he gets the win here tonight, 500 coaching wins in his illustrious career.
500 is a really big number, and I was lucky to be a part of them, and a few national titles are a part of that number as well. So he's done a lot of incredible things in his stint as a head coach at the Division III level, and I've often said it that he's a Division III coach, but he's definitely got the potential, or should be, a Division I coach. I mean, he could do it at any level. If he had the right people around him and had the right players to work with, he'd be winning, and that's what he is. He's a winner, so he'll find a way to get it back.
You were part of an exciting time here at Carthage College, a Final Four run in 2002, a couple of conference titles involved in that, personal accolades, all conference selections and Player of the Year selections. And what was your time here? How did that, talk a little bit about that time here.
Okay, yeah, we developed lifelong brotherhoods here. That's what we did when we had the unique chance to be with guys that loved playing basketball. But more than loving to play basketball, they loved winning. And when you get a combination of guys that love to play and that just die to win, and the brotherhood that is formed is unmatched. So as we move on and get married, we're at each other's weddings, and when we have kids, we're right there, making sure that we're supporting each other. So we had something special, something that most programs don't have the opportunity to ever even come close to. Every year we started off thinking we could win a national title, and eventually we got to that level and just fell short. But it's not that. It's not the wins, and it's the brotherhood, and it's the guys that you genuinely care about. And it's amazing to see them whenever we get the chance to.
Any special memory from that time period?
Yeah, for certain. When we were here trying to get to the Final Four my senior year, 2002, we were able to cut down the nets on our home floor. And seeing the guys climb that ladder and clip it up and then wave that net around with fans and the energy that was in this gym, unmatched. Just incredible feeling to see guys that you grew up with, became men with, achieve at that level. It's great.
You had the opportunity to play at such a high level. You had the all-time leading scorer, and then this kid, Steve Jurkovic, came along. I know you had the opportunity to watch that as I did. What was that like? Kind of surreal?
Yeah, I knew him when he was in third grade, and we went to a CYC draft. It was all the guys at the time had their own team, so we all, were competing against each other. We're juniors, seniors, and so we go to this tryout, and Stevie's there playing, and I'm watching him play, and I say, you know what, he's no good. I don't want anything to do with him. I said it flat. I said, he cannot play. And Antoine, of course, drafts him first overall, and I said, you're crazy. You play enough. Bosco gives you every minute you need. You never have to pass the ball to me. And you're going and picking his son. You don't need to kiss up to him any more than you already do with your play. So we go out, and I end up losing probably every game I coached, and Antoine proceeds to win every game that he coaches, and Steve just continues to dominate. And by the time that he got here, I couldn't believe what he turned into. I still think he's no good, and I'll tell him that to his face. But he was the best Division III player I ever saw, off of my team. What he was doing out there in the high post and, breaking down the defense and distributing the basketball. I mean, the numbers that he put up here at any level, in junior high, if I'm playing against 7th grade girls, those numbers are outstanding. So he's an amazing player, deserves all the records. I'm sure he would have liked to won more than he did, but he had a great career here, and now he's trying to, move us back to where we were, a contender, and I'm hoping that happens.
Talking with Jason Wertel, one of the Carthage Hall of Fame member and member of the Final Four team, second all-time leading scorer in the history of the men's basketball program, part of our Carthage Sports Report here today. And alumni games were played here earlier. And going forward, what do you see in Steve and in this program? Where do you see this program headed?
It's going to take an army. It's going to take a village to make sure that we get back to where we were. There's quite a bit of support that happened back in the day from a recruiting perspective, and with the fingers that we have across the state of Illinois and Wisconsin now in alumni, if we all chip in and find a way to go to a game and see a player here or there and continue to recruit and help out, I don't see a reason why we can't find a way to get it back. I know that's what Steve wants. I know that's what Bosco wants, and you're always 3 players away from doing it. I truly believe you need 3 star players, and you can do just about anything from a role perspective. Bosco used to preach Chiefs and Indians all the time. I'm sure he probably still does. And we need 1 or 2 Chiefs in this building. We need a couple guys that are just big-time scorers, rebounders, and studs. And once you get that, you can piece it together. So, to be down on a season because you're losing, I understand that. It's not doom and gloom entirely. You come to this campus, how could you not want to go here? The place is incredible. It's one of the best places in the world to play Division III basketball. And if more people could see that, we get 1 or 2 guys, we'll be back.
Imagine, I'm just thinking to myself now, imagine if we had the Tarble Arena back in the day.
Oh, man.
See this place filled with 3,000 people.
Yeah, you get the lights off pre-game, you get the scoreboard going on the highlight reel. The problem is I'd probably be watching that, making sure that my buckets went in on time, and some of the other guys would have loved it too. I love the look of this gym. The community, if we can get them back out here and get the students live again. We used to have crazy things happening around here with a deer stand and Carthage crazies and some maniacs, but you got to get back to that because that's what college is about. You got to be a part of those fun, school spirit moments. It's what draws you into this place, so I hope they can do it.
It was nice to see the guys back. The one guy we miss, and I know he's listening, is Antoine McDaniel out west. And Twan, I was always amazed at the minutes he posted in that time, simply because we did the media timeouts back in the day, and that was the Twan timeouts.
Yeah, Bosco put that one in. You could have cared less whether or not I got a breather. But Antoine was obviously the golden boy of the program and got everything that he needed whenever he needed. Never threw the full court pass to me when I was open in transition. And, was heavy on the shot. That being said, we miss him greatly. He's out in Seattle. He's probably full out Richard Sherman right now, going hard with the Seahawks. And he was great. He's one, all-decade team, first team all-decade, one of the greatest Division III players in the history of the game. And he was every bit of that, but he's even a better person. And if he was around today, we'd be hugging him, telling him how much we missed him. So
That's the beauty of this. I've watched you guys grow up and move on and get into your careers, and you guys have all done well for yourselves. And I got to believe the experience of playing Division III sports, Division III athletics, and the outstanding degree that you get here at Carthage College all shape that.
Yeah, everyone's done really well with the exception of Jim Obojkowicz, who is unfortunately at a Cubs convention tonight, probably watching a bunch of terrible baseball players sign autographs all night long. And that's a sad moment. And maybe if he was a South Side guy, we could all argue that he was successful. But, you know, we feel bad for Jimmy, that he's not here, and then unfortunately he has the job that he does.
He's got problems. They got to figure out what to do with those bleachers. I hear now they're not going to be ready till May.
I don't know. I mean, hopefully they're bad and no one comes again, so it'll be fine for him. He's got nothing to worry about over there.
So we wrap this up here on our sports report. Again, what do you expect? Your daughters are young yet, but you see them in a Carthage way here.
You know, it's possible if they give me some money and I don't have to spend $650,000 on their education. That's what's changed here. I'm a teacher, so we'll see how that works out. I don't know if they can give me that alumni deal, that discount, but of course I would love to see them.
We got to talk to Theo in admissions.
Theo can pull some strings for me for sure. I don't know how big I don't know if you can pull $60,000 strings, but we'll try it. Whatever they want to do, you know, we push sports on them because we're competitive people, you know, and they embrace it and they enjoy sports. And if they want to play, they'll play. If not, they'll just be cute, good people, and we'll love them for their whole lives. So that's the plan.
Well, Jason, I want to thank you for taking time out to do this today, and it was a pleasure watching you out there again and having you around the program, and good luck to you in the rest of your endeavors.
All right, Johnny, thank you very much.
Jason Wertel, outstanding scorer in his own right, second leading scorer behind that Jurakovic kid here at Carthage College, but one of the best players to ever put on a Carthage uniform, in my opinion. Wrapping up our Carthage Sports Report for this afternoon. Stay tuned. We've got women's basketball coming your way next. The Lady Reds pregame show right after this on AM 1050 WLIP. Well, after a 3-game road trip, the Carthage Redmen return home. 2-1 on that road trip, looking to add to their victory count tonight as they take on the Millikin Big Blue. Good evening, everyone. John Weiser with you from the Tarble Arena in Kenosha. The Redmen at 6-8 overall, 2-2 in league play, taking on the 6-9 Millikin Big Blue, 1-3 in College Conference of Illinois and Wisconsin play. The Redmen off to a big upset on Wednesday night as they knocked off the 22nd ranked Elmhurst Blue Jays 70-68, their third ranked opponent in their first 4 conference ball games. Carthage even its record at 2-2, getting some outstanding play from a couple of newcomers to the Redmen team, or at least people who have stepped up here of late. Ellis Matthews, the junior out of Libertyville, leading Carthage with 17 points over the Blue Jays on Wednesday night. And Sean Valentine came off the bench to score 13 points on 3 of 4 shooting. Redmen actually had a lead in that ball game, but Blue Jays came back to take a 3-point advantage, 68-65 in that contest, and with a minute 39, and Dante Logan's 3-point play with 102 tied the game at 68. That set up the dramatics with 34 seconds to play. The Redmond Brad Cruz sank a layup with 3 seconds to go to provide the winning margin. Cruz with 10 points in that ball game on 4 of 6 from the floor. He also had 3 steals. That's 13 steals in the last 3 games now for Brad Cruz. So the Redmen get the winning basket in the final seconds at Elmhurst to pull off the upset. Meanwhile, Millikin coming in having lost at home, or lost in Bloomington, I should say, to Illinois Wesleyan. As the Titans got 28 points from Jordan Nelson, 14 off the bench from Joel Pennington, and 11 from Dylan Overstreet, and knocking off the Big Blue on Wednesday night. Big Blue getting 21 from T.J. Griffin, who is their best player. Griffin was 8 of 15 in that ball game, finished that ball game with 21. He's averaging 17 points, shooting 42%, and has 33 steals. He has 105 shots, more than the next player on the team. So the offense goes through Griffin. He'll probably hoist it 13, 14, 15 times tonight, but if you keep that to 6 of 15 or 5 for 15 tonight, you stand a very good chance of picking up the win
if you can contain Griffin. They will get TJ Sims, their second leading scorer, back tonight. Sims had missed the last couple of ball games with a leg injury, and he is expected back in the lineup tonight, averaging 10.5 points per game. Meanwhile, the Redmen getting a good play of late, as we said, from Cruz. They continue to be led in scoring by Cameron Van Wyk with 10.9 points per game, but Matthews now at 8.7 points per game, your second leading scorer. I'm very impressed with what Cruz has done here over the last couple of ball games. Matter of fact, that'll be our first question out when we come back. We'll visit with head coach Bosko Jurkovic. It's been a while since we've talked with Bosko. We'll get his thoughts on the Redmen coming into this game against Millikin. Huge ball game here for the Redmen. They start a trend here now where they'll play 4 of their next 5 here at home. So an opportunity to get in front of a good, lively home crowd and improve their fortunes in the league and hang in there for one of the top 4 positions to get into the conference tournament. We'll visit with Bosko right after this 60 break. You're listening to Redmen Basketball on AM 1050 WLIP.
Welcome back to the Tarble Arena. Game 2 of our doubleheader tonight as the Redmen get set to take on the Millikin Big Blue. Big important ball game here for the Redmen tonight, and joined now by Bosko Jurkovic, the head basketball coach. And Bosko, I got to tell you, if somebody would have told you start your first 4 games, you come out of that 2-2, now staring 5 of your next 6 here at home, I think that puts you in a pretty good position.
John, you have to reestablish some sort of home court dominance. We've not been a very good team at home, but anytime you can play home games in this league, you'd prefer that. So we've been 3 out of 4 on the road. We played quite well. It's in our hands right now, and tonight is the first of a 5 out of 6 at home stretch.
Not only that, but playing 3 ranked teams in your first 4 ball games. I don't know of any other conference that has had to do that yet this year.
I'd be surprised. As always, the greatness of this conference isn't the individual schools. That's part of it, of course. It's the depth of the conference. There's never an easy night. Shoot, we played at North Park 10 days ago, and they're a good basketball team. They're a 9-6 basketball team. It's a league that's got really good depth. It's a league that's got really good teams.
Played the game reasonably well here the last 3 out on the road. I thought, a break either way early in that Illinois Wesleyan game. It just ran into some foul trouble at Wesleyan. And you played strong the entire ball game against Elmhurst. You were able to figure it out down the stretch on the road in what has been a pretty tough place to play.
Gave ourselves a chance at Illinois Wesleyan. They made a few more plays down the stretch. That's to their credit. But walked out of there disappointed, but not at all discouraged, because we felt that we had held our own in a very difficult venue. And both of the North Park and Elmhurst games, I thought we executed better than we have all year long, played with a better pace than we have all year long, and got a couple of wins that were very important.
Started those games strong, too. I think that's always important in this league, to get off that first 5 minutes. I know you and I have talked about that for years. The first 5 minutes of each half, so critical.
It's difficult to chase in any league, but this league maybe more so, because the home court advantage is golden, and getting off to a good start is important every night.
Now you have Millikin in the building here tonight. Matt Nadelhofer has done, I think, as good a job trying to put that program back on the map. I mean, he was left with a mess when he took that over, and he's always a tough one because his team is a team of grinders. They figure things out, and they work hard. They're hard workers. They go after you. They just scrape and grind.
They're another team that's right at 500 overall. They won at North Park, which was a nice win for them. Good basketball team. Different parts. Griffin is one of the better players in the league. That's their leading scorer. He's a fine guard, 3-year guy now. And they've got a bunch of big bodies. Some nights it works for them, some nights not so much, but they've got different people to throw in there and give you a different look. So, yes, a competitive side, a team that you have to concern yourself with, and Matt has done a fine job. They have not been strong at Millikin for some time, and Matt's given them a breath of fresh air, has worked hard on the recruiting end, and does a good job.
If anything, I think the one thing you come away with, they've had trouble shooting the basketball. And I think, again, because of the guard play perhaps, but when they find a way, when they need a basket, they're going to look inside, they're going to look to Griffin.
It's an interesting situation because they've clearly made less three-point baskets than anybody else in the league. Their shooting percentage isn't all that good either, but it's not awful. It's they're not making the perimeter shot, and sometimes that's tough. In today's game, when you take a look and read the paper, and one team's 12 of 23 and another team's 9 of 16, they're averaging 4 threes made a night, which I'm sure they would like to do a little bit better at. Let's hope tonight's not the night where they find it.
And they've turned the ball over. I think that's the other key, too. They've had some possessions lost because of some carelessness with the ball, particularly up top.
They've been trying to find the mix for themselves 3 big, 3 small. They've got a number of big players that they really like, freshmen and sophomores, and yet generally big guys don't protect the ball as well as you'd like. Their perimeter play is fairly okay as far as turnovers. Their inside people have turned the ball over way too much.
Got some nice minutes the other night out of Cruz at guard. He is starting to assert himself now. I think the game is starting to come to him. And how about the play? You know, Matthews, we talk about his scoring 17, but I thought Valentin's play off the bench probably his best a game that he's played in a long time for the Redmen.
Well, he's now got back-to-back solid efforts, and I don't know because it's not something that we slot. We don't have a grid that says this minute. We play it the way we think we need to play during the course of each game. But having said that, you're now looking where Matthews and Keltson are sharing a spot. Cruz and Valentin are sharing a spot. Stevenson and Lee are sharing a spot. Van Wyk and Case are sharing a spot. So we've got a little bit more of role identification, and I think it's really worked very well for Valentin. Brad Cruz is just one of those guys that makes everybody on the court better. Plays very hard, gets his hands on a ton of stuff, and shoots the ball well enough that he has to be guarded. Before he's done, he's going to be a great shooter. So at this stage, guys are playing well. Let's see what we got tonight.
Come to expect some good defensive performances, but maybe I look back at that Illinois Wesleyan game and the performance of Dante Logan. When you look at what Nelson did the other night against Millikin, and you look at the effort that Logan put in to keep Nelson off the board in the Illinois Wesleyan game last Saturday.
An underappreciated part of Dante's game. Our teams have been solid since he's been here, but we've never been that national power team for him to get the credit that he deserves. Really good basketball player. Assist-to-turnover ratio, always very good. And defensively, he's always been a good on-ball defender. Now he's become a non-ball and off-ball.
Trying to capitalize and springboard off that win on the road at Elmhurst the other night, knocking off the Blue Jays in fine fashion as Cruz hitting the layup with 3 seconds left to propel the Redmen to the victory. We talked about Millikin. They got spanked in Bloomington 93-60 in the loss to the Illinois Wesleyan Titans. Jordan Nelson, a career-high 28 points for the Titans, and it was
ladies and gentlemen,
TJ Griffin with 21 points
for
the Big Blue in
Carthage
that loss.
College
So, important ball game, as you heard Bosco say. It's the next game,
the
most
NCAA
important game. Next one up here for the Redmen at home tonight against the Big
Request
Blue.
your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner.
So
The
let's head
NCAA,
downstairs
the
to
CCIW,
Adam
and Carthage,
King. We'll
thank you
get
for
you
your
the
cooperation.
starting lineups for tonight's game.
And
So
now
let's
for
head
the
down there
starting
to Adam
lineups for
for that.
tonight's game between the Millikin University Big Blue with a 6-9 record and a 1-3 CCIW mark, and your Carthage Redmen with a record of 6-8 and a 2-2 conference mark. Let's meet the starting lineup for the Millikin University Big Blue. A 6-foot junior guard out of St. Louis, Missouri, number 1, TJ Griffin. A 6-foot junior guard out of Winchester, Illinois, number 4, Parker Day. A 6'5 junior forward out of Fairview Heights, Illinois, number 14, Elijah Kidman. A 6'3 junior forward out of Lebanon, Illinois, number 34, Tommy Polakis. And a 6'8 sophomore forward out of Towanda, Illinois, number 40, Bryn Agnew. The head coach for the Big Blue is Matt Nadelhofer. He's assisted by Matthew Zozel and Blake Woodard. Are you ready? presented by Steve Jerichovic, Quincy French, Jose Garcia, and graduate assistant coach Andy Atkins.
So we're ready to go. It'll be Matthews, Stevenson, Logan, Van Wyck, and Cruz for the Redmen. Griffin, Parker Day, Elijah Kinman, Tommy Palakis, and Bryn Agnew for the Big Blue. Matt Nadelhofer, head coach for Millikin. Played at Wheaton, played for Billy Harris down at Wheaton. Coming out of that great program. Trying to turn the fortunes around here for the Big Blue. Big Blue in the navy blue jerseys, navy blue shorts, light blue and white numerals and lettering. Carthage white jerseys, white shorts, red numerals, red lettering. Agnew and Van Wyck will jump center. The toss by John Hodell. And the inbound goes out of bounds, I should say, off the tap. It'll go to the Redmen. John Hodell on the whistle tonight, along with Tom Warwick and David King. Carthage possession here as Dante Logan will take it across man-to-man defense by the Big Blue. Stevenson around the left side to Logan. Logan high on the left, guarded by Parker Day. Man-to-man defense here for the Big Blue. Try and get a screen. Kinman slides through that. Logan going hard over Day, lays it up and in. It's going to be a mismatch, I think, most of the game. If Day's going to be matched up on Logan, Logan will be able to do that and penetrate with the dribble. 2-0 Carthage. Griffin, team's leading scorer, with it up top. Now works it off to Agnew. Back to TJ Griffin. Now Parker Day gets the return pass from Agnew. Day penetrates, hit the bottom of the rim, picked up by Cruz. He'll clear it out to Matthews. Matthews with 17 points in the win over Elmhurst on Wednesday. Works it off to Logan. To Cruz, who hit the game winner. To Stevenson, around to Logan on the perimeter. From the right side, Logan now with the dribble. Finds Matthews. Turnaround free throw line jumper. Good for Ellis Matthews. A 4-0 start here for the Redmen. Parker Day down the floor with the dribble. Kicks it off to Kinman. Now to Griffin. Loops it inside to Agnew. Backing down on Van Wyck. Had it stripped. Ball loose. Picked up by Matthews. Matthews with the strip as he was backing down Van Wyck. Back come the Redmen the other way. Logan up top to Stevenson. Ball fakes. Drops it off to Ellis. Now back up top to Logan. Logan will run the offense. Gets it to Matthews for three, right wing, rattles out, no good. Rebound pulled in by the Big Blue and Tommy Palakis. To Griffin, quick three on the way, that's no good. Long rebound through the hands of Griffin, picked up by Matthews. He'll dribble it out of traffic and handle it for the Redmen. Logan across midcourt now. Gives it off to Stevenson high on the right wing. Stevenson with the short dribble to Van Wyck. Left side it goes to Matthews. Backdoor feed to Stevenson through the paint. Cross court, right corner now to Logan. Drives in, dumps it back to Van Wyck. Lays it up, draws the foul. Unable to finish is Van Wyck, but he'll get to the free throw line
The Millikin foul,
for a pair
number
of
40,
free throws.
Bryn Agnew, his first personal foul.
Agnew with the foul on
Big
the
Blue
body
team
bump
foul.
that time, and that'll put Van Wyck on the
Van
strike.
Wyck at the Carthage line.
Van Wyck, the team's leading scorer, at just under 11 per game. Has struggled mightily with his free throws. Will bank that
Into
one
the
in.
Millikin lineup, number 11, TJ Sims.
38% from the
And
line
number
this
44,
year.
Brody Bentz.
Brody Bentz will check in, along with TJ Sims. Told you Sims would get back in there, the freshman out of Bloomington. Missed a couple of games. Back out there now as Van Wyck hits both free throws. A 6-0 run to start the game here for the Redmen. Sims will handle it back to Griffin, guarded by Logan. Gets a screen by Bentz. Now trying to drive, whistle and a foul. Griffin on the drive from the right side, able to draw the foul.
The Carthage foul, number 25,
Brad
Brad
Cruz.
Cruz, his first personal foul, first team foul.
First foul on the Redmen. It was on the drive. Oh, they're going to say it was shooting. They'll put him on the line. So Griffin on the free throw line, set to shoot a pair. Drops in the first. TJ Griffin, 17 points per game. That's good for fourth in scoring in the CCIW. 73% from the line this year. One is up and in for a pair. 6-2, Redmond lead. Some token pressure put on by Sims. Now they're going to try and trap Logan at midcourt. Gets it across to Cruz. To Stevenson, wide open is Matthews on the right block. Short jumper missed. Rebound pulled in by Logan. Not sure why Matthews just didn't dribble that right in. Now he'll dribble in, and as he does, he's fouled. He caught that pass just outside the right baseline and wanted to
Millikin
take the
foul,
short jump
number
shot.
14,
He had clearance. He
Kinman,
could have
his
just
first
taken
personal
a couple
foul,
of dribbles
second
and
team foul.
laid it off the glass.
Into the big blue lineup, number 32.
That last foul
Zach
on
Long.
Elijah Kinman. As Carthage loses it in the backcourt, and it'll roll through. Actually went off a Millikin player, Kinman that time, so Carthage will keep it all the way in the backcourt here with 17 minutes to play here in our first half, leading 6-2. Logan now takes it across midcourt, guarded by Sims. Hands it off to Matthews. He'll circle around top of the key. Gives it back to Logan now on the right wing. Trying to shake Sims. Now back to Stevenson. Open three. Book it. Mike Stevenson off the switch off that time. Getting late in there for the Big Blue was Zach Long just into the game. He was late on the switch off. 9-2 Redmond. Palakis takes the dribble through the top of the circle. Gets it back to Sims. Sims pulls up over Matthews right at the free throw line. Spins out. The rebound picked up by Van Wyk. Logan now will handle it across midcourt. Logan right side to Matthews. To Logan once again. Now to Stevenson. Showing. Now driving. Off balance with the right hand. Going left and laying it in. Stevenson. 11-2 run to start the ball game here for the Redmen. Now Palakis up top to Griffin. Logan will work on him. And they flip it back to Griffin on the left wing. Driving in left side. Cut off nicely by Van Wyk. Back up top it'll go. Palakis penetrates the paint. Rattled out, no good. Got his own rebound. Blocked from behind by Cruz. Off the shoulder of Palakis. It goes out of bounds to the Redmen.
42, Nathan Biggs.
Excellent job defensively by the Redmen, and particularly Brad Cruz. Logan now in the backcourt, hounded by TJ Sims. Gets it across to Cruz. Cruz, the freshman. Hands it back to Stevenson. Stevenson now finds a lane, lays it up, was fouled on the way to the basket. Reach foul that time by
Number
Palakis.
32, Zach Long, his first personal
I
foul,
think they're going to give it
13
on
foul.
Long.
Into the Millikin lineup, number 14, Elijah Kinman.
Kinman will check in.
Also number 21, Jacob
And
Keeker.
also in Jacob Keeker in, the 6'5 junior out of my favorite town in Illinois, Redbud, Illinois. And Wyke missing on the shot. Back the other way comes TJ Sims. Laid it short. Matthews had the basketball, then got it tied up by Kinman.
Millikin basketball.
Held ball. It'll be Millikin possession in the offensive end. 11-2 Carthage. 5 minutes in. We talked about that with Boschko. Important to get off to a good start. Another strong start here for the Redmen here at home. Sims gets it into Griffin. He'll pop right away out of the corner near side, missing. Rebound pulled in by Biggs. Dumps it back out. Pulled down by Van Wyk off the miss. Nathan Biggs in there now, a 6'6 freshman from Chesterfield, Missouri. Now Cruz with it. Back up top to Stevenson, around the left side to Logan. Back to Cruz. Cruz now penetrates, dumps back Stevenson. Open three, book it. Mike Stevenson for three. His second triple of the ball game. He's got 6. 14-2. Make it 8 points for Stevenson and a 14-2 advantage. Kinman with it, top of the circle. Rolls it inside. Biggs going over Van Wyk, missing. Ball loose, picked up by Matthews. So it kind of skittered through the hands of Kinman that time. 14-2 run here to start the ball game for the Redmen. Logan working it through the center circle, dumps it back to Cruz. Now to Matthews. It's a ball screen from Van Wyk. He dives down. Meantime, Cruz for three, missing. Van Wyk trying to keep it alive. It's loose up top, picked up by Griffin. Feeds Sims, driving in left side around Logan. High off the glass, missing. And the rebound going out of bounds. It'll be Redmond ball.
In your Carthage
Sims
lineup,
the last
number
one
10,
to touch
Mike
it that time. Kelson will check in, replacing Ellis Matthews for the Redmen.
Into the Millikin lineup, number
Mike
40,
Kelson, the
Agnew.
6'3 sophomore out of
44,
Bloomingdale,
Brody
Illinois. Agnew back in now for the Big Blue. Trying to 2-2-1 press here, and Redmond with Stevenson able to dribble out of trouble, gets it back to Logan. 14-2, Redmond with the lead. A little bit of a zone look here now for the Big Blue. 1-2-2. Cruz able to drive around, shovels it off to Van Wyk, left side, lays it in. Cruz penetrating from the right side, found Van Wyk open on the left block. Redmond off to a 16-2 start. Timeout, Millikin.
It's a 30-second timeout.
Redmond 6 for 10 now from the floor, including a pair of three-pointers. Millikin has missed all 10 of their shots. They only get a pair of free throws. The only scoring Millikin has done. They're 0 for 10 from the field. 8 points for Stevenson, 4 points for Van Wyk, and 2 each for Logan and Matthews so far. We told you it's a big game tonight. One of the underlining themes here tonight is Bosko Jurkovic going for his 500th career win, should he get one here tonight. I know what he's going to say. He's going to say that just means I've been around a long time, but we talked about it. 500 wins still means something. That means you've done something, and certainly between North Park and Carthage, he's won his share. He's gone over the 300 win mark here at Carthage now earlier this season. Going for number 500 here tonight if he can nurse this one home. Griffin now with it. 16-2 in favor of the Redmen. Now the pass broken up by Van Wyk, stolen by Cruz. Back to Van Wyk. He'll lay it up and in. Van Wyk with 6. 18-2 in favor of the Redmen. Sims now will handle it on the left wing, picked up by Kelson. Van Wyk will slide out, trying to deny him. Now gets it off to Keeker. Keeker near side to Griffin. Griffin around Van Wyk, pulls up, top of the circle, fires, missing. Rebound Stevenson. Lost it on the way down, trying to keep it alive, and does. Gets it back to Logan. Nice effort by Stevenson that time. Big Blue 0 for 11 from the field now. Van Wyk hands it off to Kelson. Back to Cruz for three. Banks it in. Oh my. You know you're living right when Cruz can bank one in from three. 21-2 in favor of the Redmen. Griffin around the near wing, dumps it off to Keeker, and he hits the first from the field. Keeker for three.
Jacob Keeker.
Out of the left corner. 21-5. Now Cruz driving hard to the basket. He'll lay it up and draw the foul. Couldn't get it to fall, but the freshman Cruz will get to the free throw line here for the Redmen.
Millikin foul, number 44. Brody Benz, his first personal foul, fourth
Benz
team
picking
foul.
up the foul.
Brad Cruz at the line.
That'll put Cruz on the free throw line here for the Redmen. Knocks down the first. Brad Cruz on the season.
Into your Carthage lineup, number 33,
Does
Ryan
not get
Case.
to the line all that much. In 9 games, just 10 free throws. 5 for 10 coming in. Second one no good. Case in now. Ryan Case, the 6'4 sophomore out of Schaumburg, in for the Redmen. 22-5 Carthage. 11.5 minutes to go first half. Bentz with it here on the near wing. Guarded by Case. Back in the corner again for three. That's a rattle out. No good. Ball loose. Cruz able to take it away. It was in the hands of Bentz. Couldn't gather it in, and Cruz came away with it. Gives it off to Logan now. To Kelson. To Stevenson high on the left wing at the left elbow. Gets a screen from Case. Not a very good one. Case gets the return pass, however. back to Logan. Redmond will reload here with 16 on the shot clock. Logan, top of the circle, dumps it off to Cruz into the right corner. Keltson back up to Cruz. Cruz driving now around Keeker, lays it up with the left hand, couldn't get it to fall. Rebound cleared out of there by the Big Blue as Griffin brings it down quickly. Keeker with it high in the right wing, looking back door, feeds it, lays it up and in. Brody Bentz and a timeout taken by the Redmen as things have broken down here just a bit. Bosco wants to nip it in the bud here with 10 and a half minutes to go. 22-7 in favor of the Redmen. Game's going on. North Central and Elmhurst. That game yet to tip. The women, North Central women, hung on and beat Elmhurst. So three-way tie on the women's side for first place. Carthage, Wheaton, and North Central.
Into the Carthage lineup, number
down
24.
in Rock Island, number 1 ranked
Sean
Augustana
Valentine.
leading Wheaton 16-12. Midway through the first half in that one. 6 minutes gone by down in Bloomington. Illinois Wesleyan leading North Park 13-10. Those are your other games in the CCIW tonight. Logan Stevenson, Valentine in. Sean Valentine off the bench for 13 the other night in the win over Elmhurst. Along with Keltson and Case. Again, zone defense here. 2-3 zone look. Keltson will shoot over the zone and drop in the three from the left wing. Keltson, his first triple tonight for the sophomore. 25-7. Now with it, Keeker pulls up top of the circle over Valentine. Short. Rebound pulled in by Logan. Carthage out rebounding Millikin. 11-8 here in the early going. Logan will set it up. Sims in front of him. Works it off to Valentine on the left wing. To Case. Reversing right side Logan. Now to Stevenson in the right corner. Back up top to Logan on the wing. To Case to Logan once again with 12 on the shot clock. Again, probing the zone. Now Keltson again. That one halfway in. Popped out. Case with the offensive board and was fouled. Ryan Case doing a good job on the glass, cleaning up the miss by Keltson. That was a tough
Millikin
one for
foul,
Keltson.
number 40.
It was
Agnew,
halfway down and popped out.
15 foul.
15
Into
foul
the Big Blue
on
lineup,
the
number 1,
Big
TJ
Blue.
Griffin. Into your Carthage lineup, number 4, Miles
Griffin
Olson.
back in.
And number 30, Kiston
Miles
Lee.
Olson in along with Kiston Lee for the Redmen. Carthage will inbound with Lee triggering it from the right of the basket. To Keltson, he'll pop it quickly. That one was short. The rebound pulled in by the Big Blue. Now quickly Parker Day back in now. Gets it back up to Biggs. To Griffin. TJ Griffin. Waits for a screen. Gets it from Agnew. Now they go back door. Count it and one. Bryn Agnew.
The Carthage foul, number 30, Kiston Lee, his first personal foul, second team foul for the Redmen.
Agnew his first points tonight.
Agnew at the line.
That last foul on Kiston Lee, his first. Got Sims checking back in now,
lineup,
replacing
11,
Keeker.
TJ Sims.
With Agnew towing the line for the and one. And he hits. 25-10, a 15-point Redmond lead.
Elijah Kinman.
Kinman back in now, replacing Agnew. Carthage looking at a press. Olson spelling some time now for Dante Logan, the junior out of East Troy. Looks it off to Keltson, top of the left wing. To Case, around back to Olson. Feeds Keltson, driving, going hard to the basket. Counted and one for Mike Keltson. Good look
Millikin
that time
foul, number 14, Elijah
from
Kinman,
Olson
his second
to
personal
get it back
foul.
to Keltson, driving the lane.
Team foul. Keltson
Able
at your
to split
Redmond line.
the defenders that time between Biggs and Kinman, and Kinman picks up the foul, his second. 6-team foul on the Big Blue. Keltson completes the three-point play. Keltson was 6. 28-10 Redmond. Got off to an 18-2 start here tonight in the paint. Kinman turnaround shot with the right hand is no good. Valentine with a big rebound. Sean Valentine gets it back to Kiston Lee. Now around to Olson. Back to Valentine high on the right wing. Lee will set the screen. Olson able to dribble around. Now gave up the dribble. Has to get it to Keltson with 10 on the shot clock. Keltson feeds Lee. Spinning off the left baseline. Off the glass too strong. Rebound Keltson inside. Tried to shovel it out and got it stripped from behind. Back the other way comes Millikin. Griffin for three. Hits. TJ Griffin able to hit the three off the right wing. 5 points for Griffin. 28-13. 7:40 to go. First half. Keltson now around to Olson. Back to Kiston Lee. Up top to Ryan Case. Around to Sean Valentine. Valentine had poked out by Griffin. Nearly stolen back by Keltson. Griffin trying to get a handle on it. Nice shovel pass down low. Count it and one.
Nathan Biggs.
Griffin with good body control that time to pull that ball in.
The Carthage foul.
And
Number
dump it off.
33, Ryan Case, his first personal foul, third team
Biggs
foul.
able
Into
to
the Millikin lineup.
finish
Number 21,
and the
Jacob
and
Keeker.
one.
And number 32, Zach
Case
Long.
picking
Your
up the
Carthage
foul, his
substitution
first.
Returning, number 22, Cameron Van Wyk.
Van Wyk back in now for the Redmen. Now Matthews
Also
will
returning
check
for your
in.
Redmen, number 5, Ellis Matthews.
He'll replace Keltson. It's a position those two have been sharing here the last 3 ball games. So now we get everybody set on the baseline here. We got a free throw upcoming here for Nathan Biggs, trying to complete his 3-point play. And he does. He will come out.
Into the
Brody
Millikin
Benz
lineup,
back
number
in.
44, Brody Benz.
They keep replacing these 6'8", 6'6", and 6'8" guys, and Redmond so far have had an answer inside. Out rebounding Millikin 14-9. Still shooting at a 55% clip as Matthews had it poked away. Redmond will retain possession in the offensive end. Redmond 10 of 18, 55%. Millikin after an 0-for-11 start now. They're 5 of their last 8. 5 of 19 now, 26%. Olson got away with a chicken wing there as he was pushing off on Sims. Valentine with it. Works it up top to Lee. Around left side, Matthews. Back up top, Valentine. Now driving. Bumped off on his way to the basket. Nearly made it as he was shoved off to his right. Got it off the glass. And
Millikin
Valentine
foul,
will
number
go
21,
to the line
Jacob
for
Keeker.
2.
His first personal
Keeker
foul. 7th
with
team
the foul that time.
Valentine at your Redmen line.
Sean Valentine at the line. 78% from the stripe this year. Comes up empty on the first attempt. Valentine, 13 points in 16 minutes in the win over Elmhurst on Wednesday. Drops in the second free throw, 1 for 2 that trip, 29-16 with 6:55 remaining in the half. Keeker with it high on the left wing. Gets it off to Nick Novak into the game for the first time tonight. Novak, 6'1" guard out of Bolingbrook. Novak will fire up the 3. That's no good. Bad angle rebound. Flagged down by Keeker, and Millikin will reload. Hit the front of the rim and came off to the left that time. Now on the drive, Sims flips it up, no good. Kiston Lee able to tip it to himself and come down with the rebound. Redmond will bring it back. Up by 13. Olson back to Lee on the right wing. Up top it'll go to Van Wyk. Around the left side, Valentine. Now back to Olson here. And we got offensive foul on Van Wyk for a moving screen. Tried to come up and set a ball screen for Olson.
The Carthage foul, number 22, Cameron Van Wyk, his first
Van
personal
Wyk
foul.
whistled
4th
for the
Redmond
foul.
Team foul. Into the Millikin
14th
lineup,
foul
returning
on the
number
Redmond.
1, TJ Griffin.
TJ Griffin back on the floor once again for the Big Blue. Matt Nadelhofer trying to find all sorts of combinations here. Like Matt, he's kind of a bulldog and trying to do what he can to resurrect this program. And the miss that time by Sims, and the rebound pulled away by the Redmen. 16-10 advantage on the glass for Carthage here. So Valentine will trigger the inbound. 18-2 run to start the game for the Redmen, and they've been in control, leading by 13 here. Matthews back in the lineup now. Works it off to Kiston Lee. Now to Miles Olson. Olson guarded by Sims all the way out near the center circle with 12 on the shot clock. Again, Van Wyk comes up for the ball screen, able to bump Sims off. Gets it to Lee with 6 on the clock. Lee needs some help. Now drives. Kiston dumps it back. Valentine with 1 on the shot clock. Barely drew iron, and the rebound pulled in by Zach Long. Down the floor quickly comes Millikin. Sims alone for 3, left wing. Yes, sir.
TJ Sims.
TJ Sims back in the lineup. Able to knock that one down. Sims held out the last couple ball games with a leg injury. He's got his first 3 tonight. Cuts the deficit to 10. Inside we got a hold. Van Wyk held up inside
Millikin
by
foul,
Brody
number
Bentz.
44, Brody Bentz, his second personal foul.
6'8" forward, holding
foul.
up Van Wyk.
Into
That's
the Millikin lineup, number
8th
42,
team foul,
Nathan
so
Biggs.
bonus
Your
1-1 here for the Redmen.
Number
Stevenson
25,
back in.
Brad Cruz. Number 21,
Dante Logan back in,
and
and
number
Cruz
20, Mike
back
Stevenson.
in for the Redmen.
Big Blue substitution, number
Replacing
34.
Lee, Olson,
Palakis.
Valentine.
Van Wyk at the line.
And Van Wyk on the line for the 1-1. And able to hit that one. Van Wyk 3 for 3 from the line tonight. He has worked at it. Worked hard in practice on the free throws. Missed the second though. The rebound pulled in by Long. 30-19 Redmen. 4:40 to go, first half. Palakis back in there now with it. Gives it off to Long. Back up top to Keeker. To Griffin, circling around. Tried to shovel it off to Kinman. Wasn't ready for it. Deflects out of bounds.
Millikin substitution. Number 11,
So
TJ
it'll be
Sims.
Redmond ball here.
And number 14,
It's the third
Elijah
turnover
Kinman.
committed by Millikin. Logan back in there now. Will run the offense at the point. Penetrates in the bump. Foul before the shot called by John Hodel.
Millikin foul. Number 11, Sims. His
Sims
first
picking
personal
up the foul on the body bump that
Ninth
time on
team
Logan.
foul.
The 9th team foul, so Logan goes to the line shooting the 1-1.
Logan at your Redmen line.
And Dante missed the front end. The rebound picked up by Biggs. Millikin will bring it down right to left. Sims hands it off to Palakis. And back on the near wing to Biggs. Biggs rolls it inside. Back out to Sims. Sims now to Kinman, left wing. Raising up on Stevenson. Dumps it back, nearly losing it. That time was Palakis. Stripped out by Logan. Late whistle and the foul called on Dante Logan. Ooh, that looked like a clean tip there.
The
He
Carthage
brought that
foul,
dribble
number
up.
21, Dante Logan, his first personal foul. 5th team foul.
First on Logan, 5th on the team, as Logan was going for the steal that time. And the official saying he got his hand on it. So Millikin will inbound in front of the Redmond bench. With it, Palakis in all kinds of trouble there. Finally got it off to Sims. He was double teamed by Cruz and Stevenson that time. Now they roll it inside. Back out. Kinman for the 3. That's no good. Rebound pulled in by Biggs. Biggs on the right block. Got around Van Wyk. Van Wyk had a hold of the
Nathan
ball. They
Biggs.
let it go. Van Wyk was looking for the held ball. No whistle. Biggs able to finish. He's got 5. And they've cut it to 9 here. 30-21. 3:10 to go here in the half. Matthews on the left wing, back up top to Logan. Now Matthews will clear through. Logan dribbling up top. Works it off to Cruz. Cruz driving, kicks back Logan. 3 on the way, back heel no. Rebound pulled in by Blackus. Now the Big Blue with a chance here to cut it to 7. Sims dumps it back. Shot on the way. Good by Biggs. Timeout Redmond. Lead down to 7.
Timeout Carthage.
30-23. Timeout Carthage. Their second
It's a 30-second
here.
timeout.
Be a 30-second timeout taken by the Redmen here. If you're just joining us, Lady Reds falling here at home in the opener of our doubleheader here tonight. Final in that one, 75-61, the final in that one. So Lady Reds suffer their first home loss in conference play. Other scores in the CCIW, Wheaton by 1 over Augustana. 6 minutes to go first half. North Central now a 2-point lead over Elmhurst, 14-12. 5 minutes gone by in that ball game. Wesleyan up by 4, 19-15 on North Park. That game in Bloomington, 8 minutes to go first half. Logan will bring it up after an 18-2 start. Millikin right back in it now, down by 7. Stevenson in the right corner. Turning, facing Kidman. Now driving on Kidman. Jump stop in the paint. Leans in right side. Banks it in.
Stevenson.
Good job by Stevenson that time. Clear himself some space with that little lean to the right. Able to hoist it up and in. 10 points for Stevenson, the Wilmot grad. Sims now rolls it inside. Biggs with it. Turns. Went up and down with it. Could have been a travel. As it is, he turned it over as it came loose. Picked up by Matthews. Now Cruz with it at the center circle. Hands it back to Logan. Minute 50 to go in the half. Everyone would like to get this one back in double digits here. Big possession. Logan through the Van Wyk screen. Pulls up right to the free throw line and hits. Dante Logan. 4 points tonight. The lead back out to 11. 34-23. Minute and a half remaining. Griffin with it. Guarded by Logan. Now feeds Palakis, top of the circle, backs it off with the dribble with Cruz in his front. Now Cruz nearly stole it. Palakis got it back. Got around Cruz. Van Wyk steps up, got a hand in his face and denied him. And Stevenson comes away with it. Nice help out that time by Van Wyk after Palakis was able to drive around Cruz. Logan will settle it down with 1 minute to go here in the first half. Dante works it off to Stevenson. Hands it off to Dante Logan. Logan back to Stevenson for 3. It's on the way. Rattles out, no good. Rebound Griffin. 42 seconds to play in the half as Griffin brings it down. Round Logan. Penetrates. Off the glass and in.
TJ Griffin.
TJ Griffin. Now Logan back the other way. Looking for Matthews. Matthews will lay it up and in. Both teams running the floor here now as Millikin will get it back with 25 seconds to play. They'll play it for 1. 36-25 Redmond. Sims now guarded hard by Matthews. Nearly stepped over the center line. Right foot came very close. Sims will pull up over Stevenson. Banks it in with 4 seconds to play. Logan back in play now. Trying to get around Stevenson. And we got a foul. Well, no foul called as Sims and Logan collided out there. Logan actually threw him to the floor. Matt Nadelhofer pleading for a foul. No whistle. As the half comes to an end with the Redmen up 9. 36-27. Redmen in front. We'll take a 2-minute break. Back to break down the numbers of our first half right after this on AM 1050 WLIP. 36-27, Redmond with the halftime lead. John Weiser back with you at the Tarble Arena. Carthage got off to a great start here tonight. Opened up an 18-2 run to begin the ball game. Finished off by Cameron Van Wyk layup. I mean, at 18-2, they held Millikin the first 5 minutes of this contest 0 for 11 shooting. But Millikin chipped away. Big Blue got it down to 10, 29-19 on a three-pointer by TJ Sims with 5 minutes to go here in this first half. And down by 7 on a layup and a jumper by Nathan Biggs. And Biggs getting a layup and then coming right back with a jumper, and that made it a 7-point game, 30-23. Carthage taking a timeout at that point with 2:38 to play. The Redmen able to regroup. Stevenson with a layup. Dante Logan with a jumper built the lead back out to 11, 34-23. Then a pair of fast break buckets, one by TJ Griffin, the other by Ellis Matthews, maintaining that 11-point lead. But then TJ Sims in the final seconds, he got one up and in with 4 seconds left, and that provided the final halftime margin of 36-27. Taking a look at the numbers in the first half, the Redmen 13 of 24, 54%. They were 4 of 9 from behind the arc and 6 of 10 from the free throw line. Redmen getting 8 assists in that first half, 1 block or 1 steal, 3 blocks. And opening up that lead, as I said, shooting 54%. Meanwhile, Millikin 34%, 10 for 29, 3 of 6 from behind the arc and 4 of 4 from the free throw line. They're getting 17 bench points as Van Nadelhofer went to the bench early, getting contribution from TJ Sims and Nathan Biggs in a big way there in that second part of the first half. Breaking it down individually for the Redmen in that first half, it was Mike Stevenson with 10 points. Stevenson 4 for 5, including 2 of 3 from behind the arc. Cameron Van Wyk with 7, 2 of 2 from the floor. Mike Keltson off the bench for 6, 2 for 4, 1 for 2 from behind the arc, and a free throw tonight for his 6 points. 4 points each for Brad Cruz, Dante Logan, and Ellis Matthews. Miles Olson, Kiston Lee, and Ryan Case played, did not score for the Redmen in that first half. Meanwhile, for Millikin, they get 7 points from TJ Griffin, 7 from Nathan Biggs, 5 for TJ Sims, 3 each for Bryn Agnew and Jacob Keeker, and 2 from Brody Bentz. Zach Long, Nick Novak, Tommy Palakis, Elijah Kimmons, and Parker Day played but did not score for Millikin in that first half. Rebounding, Carthage a 17-16 advantage. At one point it was 16-10 Redmen, but they finished +1 in the first half, 17-16 on the rebound. Leading rebounder for the Redmen was Dante Logan with 3. 5 players with 2 for the Redmen, including Matthews, Stevenson, Van Wyk, and Kiston Lee, I should say. Leading rebounder for the Big Blue was Nathan Biggs with 4 in that first half. Not many turnovers, each team with 4 in that first half. Carthage with 8 assists, and Millikin with 7 in that first half. 36-27, Redmen in front. Earlier tonight, in the front end of our doubleheader, Lady Reds fell to Millikin 75-61. Big Blue getting 22 from Alyssa Saklak tonight, 13 from Kelsey Going, 12 from Holly Haskins, and 10 from Devin Curry. Meanwhile, the Lady Reds 12 from Aaron Thomas, 11 from Casey Kleiner, and 10 from Aaron Quinn. Reds trailed 37-24 at the half. They cut it to 6 early in the second half, but a 9-0 run by Millikin built up a 15-point lead. Lady Reds were able to cut it to 10 a couple of times, but that was it tonight as the Lady Reds fall for the first time at home in conference play. Their first conference loss in over a year here at the Tarble Arena as they fall to Millikin 75-61. That forges a 3-way tie for first on the women's standings after play tonight. Carthage, North Central, and Wheaton all at 4-1. Millikin at 3-2. Elmhurst at 2-3. North Park and Augustana and Illinois Wesleyan all now 1-4 on the women's side. In men's play tonight, games going on. Halftime down in Rock Island. Augustana in a tussle with Wheaton. The number 1 ranked Vikings lead by 1 at the break, 38-37. Hunter Hill with 14 points. Hill 2 for 5 from the floor. Pair of 3-pointers. He made all 8 of his free throws in the first half to lead his team with 14. Braden Tischer with 12 to lead the way for Wheaton. Again, 38-37. Number 1 ranked Augustana on top of Wheaton in Rock Island tonight. 22nd ranked Elmhurst is at 9th ranked North Central. And 5 minutes to go first half. Elmhurst leading North Central 28-26. Leading the way for the Blue Jays, Kyle Wiest with 8. 6 points for Crittenden for the Blue Jays. Meanwhile, North Central 15 points from Monton tonight. Monton 5 of 7, hitting 5 3-pointers in that first half for his 15 points. Again, 28-26 Elmhurst, 5 minutes to go first half in Naperville tonight. And down in Bloomington, 3 minutes to go first half. Illinois Wesleyan leading North Park 31-24. Dylan Overstreet with 7 for Illinois Wesleyan. Jawan Henry with 12 for North Park. And the Titans up by 7, 31-24 with 3 minutes remaining in the first half down in Bloomington. Here tonight, Redmond with the lead. They jumped out to an 18-2 advantage early, had their lead cut to 7, but lead by 9 here at the half, 36-27. We'll take another 2-minute break. Back with second half play at the Tarble Arena right after this on AM 1050 WLIP. Carthage Pep Band entertaining here tonight as the Redmen have a 36-27 lead here at the half. Largest crowd of the season here, about 1,200 or so in attendance tonight, rocking the Tarble tonight. Redmen will be home on Wednesday. They'll host North Central. That'll be a 7 o'clock tip here Wednesday night. We'll have the broadcast for you here on 1050 WLIP beginning at 6:45 on Wednesday night. That'll be Carthage and North Central here Wednesday night at the Tarble Arena. Then the Redmen hit the road on Saturday as they will take on the Wheaton Thunder down at the King Arena in Wheaton, Illinois. That'll be a 7 o'clock tip down there, part of a Lady Reds Redmond doubleheader at Wheaton on Saturday. Our broadcast will begin at 4:30 with the Carthage Sports Report. That'll be followed at 4:45 with Lady Reds pregame, and then 5 o'clock, Lady Reds and Wheaton next Saturday. So your next home game for the Redmen will be right here Wednesday night when Carthage entertains the North Central Cardinals. Alumni Day today. We had the 2 alumni basketball games going on. My thanks to Jason Wertel, who joined me earlier today for the Carthage Sports Report at 4:30 this afternoon, just prior to our Lady Reds broadcast. Wertel, the second leading scorer in the history of men's basketball here at Carthage College. Participating in the men's alumni game. Younger guys here. Cody Hilton was here tonight. Saw him, part of that Sweet 16 run a couple years ago. He was in attendance. Tyler Pierce was in the game today. He's not getting cheated on his lunches, I can tell you that. Rob Garnes, Jason Wertel, a couple of the stalwarts from that Final Four run back in 2002. They're here tonight. Navarro Thompson played. He's here tonight. Good to see all the guys back. On the women's side, some of the current alums. Gabby was here tonight, and Stursik was here. Diana Jacklin played. Kaylee Corcoran was here tonight. She played in the women's alumni game, so it's good to see everybody here. They all had a good time, and everybody had fun. Chance to reminisce and visit and get caught up during the pizza party that went on after the alumni game. And so it was good to see everybody here. And talking to the guys, they're all excited. They're back here tonight. They want to see Bosco get his 500th win. So the starting 5 out there for the Redmen, it'll be Matthews, Stevenson, Logan, Van Wyck, and Cruz. Griffin, Parker Day, Elijah Kidman, Tommy Palakis, and Bryn Agnew. Looks like we'll start here for the Big Blue. Let's see, any changes in the lineup? Yeah, it looks like Sims will start the second half here. So it'll be Griffin, TJ Sims, Keeker, Nathan Biggs, and Kinman. Different look here to start the second half for Matt Nadelhofer and the Millikin Big Blue. It'll be Carthage basketball to start this second half. They'll work it right to left. Logan will work it off to Matthews. Matthews to Stevenson, back to Logan here on the near wing. Man-to-man defense here for Millikin to start this second half. They played some zone in the first half. That got them back as Stevenson drives the basket and draws the foul. Mike Stevenson driving down the right baseline, draws the foul on Kinman, his third. This will put Stevenson on the line, his first trip to the free throw line tonight. Stevenson leading all scorers with 10 points in that first half. Free throw up and in. Prepped at Wilmot Union High School. A Panther. At Southern Lakes, you got all kinds of aminals. You got your Wolverine over there at Waterford. Got the Badgers at Lake Geneva. You got the Falcons at Westosha. The Panthers over there at Wilmot. Stevenson hits both, 38-27. Back the other way, got a blocking foul on a drive to the basket by Griffin. Dante Logan with the block, his second. First on the Redmen here in the second half. Griffin will inbound left to the basket. Getting it up top. Keeker with it. Gives it back to Griffin. Try to force it back in. Deflected off of Biggs. Hit the basket and picked up by Van Wyck. Glanced off of the rim and came right to Van Wyck that time on the deflection. Now Logan over the top feed down to Van Wyck. Lays it up and in. Van Wyck getting behind the defender that time in Biggs. Got the over-the-top feed and the finish. 9 points for Van Wyck. 40-27, the lead to 13. Sims pulls up, left wing jumper, good. At the left elbow that time for TJ Sims. Sims now with 7. Cuts the deficit to 11 as Logan will walk it across midcourt. Gives it off to Cruz, high on the right wing. Now to Stevenson, reversing left side, back to Logan. Again, the same feed to Van Wyck. Over the shoulder, my goodness. Van Wyck with the reverse layup with the right hand on the feed from Logan was fouled. The finish and the free throw upcoming. Well, he just slipped in again behind Biggs. And Keeker with the help out, whistled for the foul, and now Van Wyck on the line to complete the three-point play. Superb play by the two seniors, Logan and Van Wyck. The free throw up and in on the soft touch, diving over the rim. Van Wyck with 12. Lead to 14 now, 43-29. Just underway, second half. Now diving down low with it. That was Agnew, shot blocked out of there. Back come the Redmen the other way. Logan will back it off. Now gives it off to Cruz, back to Stevenson. Near side Logan to Matthews. Matthews hung in the air, dumps it back to Logan. Logan now loops it back. Stevenson for three, right wing. That scoops off, no. Van Wyck with the rebound, back out to Matthews. Van Wyck with the block on that other end. Now getting an offensive board here on this end of the floor. Logan high on the right wing, guarded by Sims. Now gets it to Matthews. His defender fell down. Matthews for three, and it settles in. Ellis Matthews able to knock that one down. His defender fell down on the switch off. That left Matthews wide open on the wing for the triple. 7 tonight for Matthews. 17-point lead now by the Redmen. Logan with a near steal, collides with Sims, and Sims takes it out of bounds off his knee. Good hustle by Dante Logan to break that one up. As the Redmen will bring it down, up 17 here, 3 minutes into the second half. Much like that first half, Redmen off to a good start here. A 10-2 run to open up the second half. Van Wyck on the feed from Logan, lays it up and in right side. Again, they've exploited that inside. Doesn't matter who they put in there. 6'8", 6'6", 6'7", doesn't matter. Van Wyck's had his way inside tonight. And now a moving screen violation, offensive foul. It'll be on Agnew, his third. Third team foul of the half on Millikin. 48-29. They've been up to a 19-point lead here and a 12-2 run to start this second half. Logan out near the center circle. Sims guarding him. Flips it off to Matthews on the right side. Back to Logan. Dante with the dribble. Now will back it off once again. Now finds Cruz. Back to Logan. Left corner it goes. Matthews, left corner three. That's no good. Rebound Griffin. He tried to get it poked out from Cruz from behind, and he tripped up Griffin. Cruz with the foul, his second. Trying to go for a steal there. We mentioned Cruz, no steals yet tonight. 13 in the last 3 games for Cruz. That includes 7 in that win over North Park. So Millikin will bring it up. Sims will dish it off left wing. Keeker with it, gets a screen set by Long. Back to Sims on the right wing. Now works it inside. Blocked out of there by Van Wyck. Second block of the half. Sims picks it up. Gets it back to Agnew. Hands it off to Griffin. Did not touch the rim, so 10 to shoot here. Poked out by Van Wyck. Late whistle and a foul. What do we got? Another moving screen inside. Bryn Agnew. That's 4 on Agnew. Agnew, the 6'8 sophomore out of Towanda, picks up his 4th foul. He'll stay in as the Redmen will bring it up. A 12-2 run to begin the half here for Carthage. Much like they started the first half. 18-2 run in that first frame. Logan hung in the air, got trapped in no man's land, had to dish it quickly. Van Wyck wasn't ready. Sims the other way, penetrates, lays it up and in. Slashing guard there by Sims. Fought his way through two defenders to lay it up and in. 48-31. Now Logan off the left wing to Cruz. Cruz driving. Skip pass right wing to Matthews for three. That one rattles off the rim, no good. Battle for the loose ball inside. And a push off by Agnew. If that's on him, that's his fifth. It is on Agnew, and he's done. A fast foul out for Bryn Agnew. That's his fifth. They didn't even get a chance to sub for him. They had a man at the scorer's table, Nathan Biggs, but they weren't able to get him in, so Bryn Agnew fouls out 5 minutes into the second half. Stevenson now flags down the inbound. Guarded hard by Long, dishes it back to Logan. Sims on him. 5 minutes gone by here in this second half. 12-4 run for the Redmen, up 48-31. Logan to Cruz, top of the circle. Gets it back to Logan. 10 to shoot here. Logan got around Sims. They clear everybody out, lays it up and in. Once he got that step to his left, Sims was off to the, or I should say Logan was off to the races around Sims for the layup. 6 points tonight for Dante Logan. 50-31 Redmen. Sims crossover dribble, now pulls up 12-footer, good. Back-to-back buckets by TJ Sims, the 5'8 freshman out of Bloomington. Sims now with 11, leading scorer for the Big Blue. 50-33 Carthage. Matthews now up top to Cruz. Now gets it off to Logan. Logan on the right wing. Still handling the basketball. Backs it all the way out with 9 on the shot clock. Gave up the dribble. Finds Matthews. 3 seconds, 2. And that will go as a shot clock violation as it hit the glass. Came off into the hands of Van Wyck. Carthage turns it over. Mike Keltson in for Ellis Matthews. Keltson with 6 points tonight in the first half. Kiston Lee also will check in now for the Redmen. Lee in for Stevenson. 12 points on the night for Mike Stevenson. 50-33, Carthage in front. 13:40 to go here in the ball game. Redmen looking to secure their third conference win, their 7th win of the year, and the 500th career win for Bosko Jurkovic. Griffin a 3 that went airborne and missed. Rebound tipped back out. Millikin will reload. Sims top of the circle, hits 3 in a row now for TJ Sims, and a timeout taken by Matt Nadelhofer in the Millikin Big Blue. 13 points for Sims, 8 of them here in the second half. And it's a 15-point lead for the Redmen here, 50-35. Timeout Millikin will keep it here. Second half underway in Rock Island. A seesaw affair with Wheaton leading #1 ranked Augie now 45-44. Graydon Tischer with 16. Peter Smith with 11 for the Thunder. Hunter Hill with 14. Nick Hefner with 10 for the Vikings. Again, 46-44. Thunder on top of Augustana 5 minutes into the second half. Halftime in Naperville. Elmhurst on the road tonight, leading North Central 36-32. 13 points for Kyle Wiest in the first half for the Blue Jays. 15 points for Moten for the North Central Cardinals. Again, Elmhurst 36, North Central 32 at the half in Naperville. Second half just underway down in Bloomington. Illinois Wesleyan leading North Park 37-26. And if you missed it earlier, Lady Reds tonight fell to Millikin 75-61, suffering their first conference loss at home in more than a year. Redmond ball here, leading by 15. Keltson, Cruz, Lee, Van Wyck, and Logan. Logan will handle it here on the near wing. Sims, Keeker, Biggs, Long, and Griffin out there for the Big Blue. Keltson now with 9 on the shot clock, gets it back to Logan. Logan with 5. Logan drives, finger roll with the right hand, fell off, tip up by Cruz, goes in. Cruz following Logan to the basket that time, get the offensive tip and the bucket. 6 for Cruz tonight. Griffin penetrates, lost control of it, picked up by Keltson. Logan will take it across, right to left. Logan will set it up. Redmond running their offense here and try to force it into Lee. It's picked off by Sims. Sims now back the other way. Circles around, gets it off to Keeker. Now feeds Biggs. Biggs rolling one hand, come up empty on an air ball miss. Lee able to clear it out. 52-35 Redmond. Just under 12 minutes to go here in Kenosha. Keltson now up top, gets it to Kiston Lee. Works it off to Dante Logan near wing. Back to Keltson. Open three. Rattled out, no. Griffin was late trying to fly into Keltson. That was halfway down and popped out. Back the other way is Griffin. Penetrates and draws the foul. Got Kiston Lee off the floor, and Lee with the foul. So I'll put Griffin on the line. TJ Griffin with 7 points tonight. All coming in the first half. 2 for 6 from the floor, including a three-pointer. He's a perfect 2 for 2 on the line. And he comes up empty on the first. Olsen will check in for the Redmond. Also in now, Elijah Kidman for the Big Blue. One more free throw here for TJ Griffin. The junior out of St. Louis missed them both, and Keltson comes up with the rebound for the Redmond. The Olsen working the point guard here for Carthage. Olsen, the junior out of East Troy. We got a 10-second count on Miles Olsen. Olsen got to the midcourt line. Looked like he got the left foot over the line. But they call him for the 10-second violation, so it turns it back over to Millikin. Surprised that happened there. Again, I thought he got it across in plenty of time. Now Kidman on the drive to the basket, got around Lee, lays it up and in. 52-37. Olsen now gets it back to Lee. Got to get it across here, guys. And then we got a reach foul, bailed out, and we got a timeout. Timeout, Redmond.
Timeout, Carthage.
Carthage will take the timeout here, stopping play with 11 minutes to go, 52-37. And we mentioned the Redmond will be back home here on Wednesday night. They'll take on North Central, a 7 o'clock tip. Hope to see you out here in person Wednesday night. First matchup of the year between the Carthage Redmond and the North Central Cardinals. We'll have the broadcast here on AM 1050 WLIP beginning at 6:45 on Wednesday night. And the Redmond travel to Wheaton on Saturday. The Lady Reds Redmond doubleheader against the Wheaton Thunder. First game tips off at 5 with the Lady Reds and Thunder, and that'll be followed by Redmond and Wheaton at 7. So the Redmond break out of the timeout with Cruz, Keltson, Olsen, Lee, and Van Wyck. It'll be Keeker, Kidman, Griffin, Sims, and Long out there for the Big Blue. Redmond ball at midcourt. Cruz will trigger the inbounds. Olsen immediately double teamed as he got it across. Gets it to Keltson. Through the hands of Olsen into the backcourt. Picked up by Sims. Laid it up short. Olsen got the rebound. He'll lead the break out to Keltson. Redmond had numbers, but Keltson pulled it back. Now to Cruz, back to Olson. Back to Cruz on the right wing at the right elbow. Works it back up top to Olson. Now to Van Wyk, low left corner, fires up the shot, no good. Lee flags down the loose ball. Dribbles out of trouble. We got a reach foul on Long. Zach Long reaching on Kiston Lee as he dribbled down to the right corner. 2 on Long, 6th on the team for Millikin. Niles Olson will come out. Dante Logan back in for the Redmen. Brody Bentz back in, and Parker Day in for the Big Blue. Logan will trigger the inbound right of the basket. 10:20 to play. Redmen up 52-37. Lee on the feed from Logan, missed it, got his own rebound, went back up with it. Stick back wouldn't fall. Logan comes up with it underneath, and it got slapped out by Parker Day, rolled down the right leg of Logan and out of bounds. So it'll be Millikin ball here. So we reach the halfway point of our second half. 52-37. Redmen up 15 here. Got off to a strong start. 14-2 run to begin this second half, and an 18-2 run to start the game. Lee with the foul on the right block, fouling Kinman. Kiston picks up his third.
Number 30, Kiston Lee, his third personal foul.
Fourth on the Redmen here in the half. And they'll put Elijah Kinman at the free throw line. First trip to the line tonight for Kinman. Comes up short. Kinman, 81% from the line coming in, was 13 of 16 coming into the game tonight. Hits the second, 1 for 2. 52-38 Redmen, 9:50 to play. Logan now trying to avoid the double team. Gets it across. Now finds Keltson. Keltson on the right wing, back to Logan. Parker Day up on Logan. Logan behind the back dribble, able to lose Day. Dumps it back to Cruz. 3 ball on the way. That one is short. Day and Logan get tackled each other to the floor. There was no call. After Logan dished that one off, got tangled up with Parker Day, and Day threw him to the floor. There was no call. Both players took a tumble there, but officials let it go. Day with it now, top of the circle. Works it off to Bentz. Gets it to Keeker in the right corner. Takes the dribble back up. Now to Parker Day. Back to Keeker on the right wing, guarded by Cruz. Again working the perimeter. Now they work it inside. Kinman back out to Griffin, top of the circle 3. Hit the side of the backboard. Ball's loose in the paint. Rolls through the legs of Cruz. Picked up by Kinman. Turn around with the right hand. No. Follow up on the rebound. Goes down for Brody Bentz. Able to foul that one up and lay it in off the miss. Cuts the deficit to 12 here, 52-40. Cruz with it high in the right wing. Works it to Van Wyk, around to Logan. Kiston Lee backing down on the left block. Turns on Kinman and delivers. Kiston Lee falling in the paint that time as he collided with Kinman on the shot. Now Van Wyk tipped it out, picked up by Logan. Logan will take it all the way back and lay it up and in. The quick hands of Cameron Van Wyk, credited with the steal, and Logan able to finish it off with the layup. 56-40 Redmen, 8 minutes to go. Now Griffin, bounce feed Kinman, low left, blocked by Van Wyk, his third of the night. Now Keeker dribbles in, goes glass, missing, tipped it up, fouled it in. Keeker with the follow-up off his own miss, able to tip it over the rim. Logan down the right side. Circles, gives it back to Keltson. 3 on the way, yes sir, Mike Keltson. The triple by Keltson. He has 9, 59-42. Now Griffin with it high in the right wing. Gets it off to Brody Bentz. To Keeker now on the left wing. Gets a screen from Bentz. to Parker Day, to Griffin in the right corner. Back to Keeker, free throw line jumper, no good. Van Wyk with the rebound. He'll smother it here for the Redmen. Tried to leave it out for Logan, but got tipped away by Griffin. Back the other way, another block by Van Wyk is fourth. Van Wyk with 4 blocks here tonight. Logan gets it to Cruz, and now Logan will settle it down. 6:50 remaining, 59-42 Redmen. Van Wyk give and go back to Logan. Logan jump stop, tried to shovel it to Cruz. Boy, that timing was all off on that one. Van Wyk, kind of a behind pass to Logan, who picked it up off his hip and then tried to get it down to Cruz. Valentine, Case, Stevenson back in as Cruz, Lee, and Van Wyk come out. Get a nice hand. The 1,200 or so here tonight at the Tarble Arena. And the Redmen home Wednesday night taking on North Central. 7 o'clock here at the Tarble Arena. Sims for 3 over Keltson. Sims with a strong night tonight, 16 points. As we got a foul, no, dribbled off Logan. Hounded by Griffin that time and turns it over. Olsen will check in, give Logan a breather here with 6:19 remaining. Logan gets a nice hand from the crowd here tonight. 8 points, 9 assists tonight, and 5 rebounds for Dante Logan. Now Olsen able to steal the inbound. Leads Keltson to midcourt. Back to Olsen. Olsen will take the dribble across, guarded by Griffin. Now feeds Keltson. Keltson on the left wing, backs it off, slow dribble to Case. Ryan Case off to Valentine. Valentine waving it around, now penetrates. We got a whistle and a foul on the hand check that time by Keeker. 2 hands on Valentine that time. Taking a look at that last block from Van Wyk. 4 blocks tonight for Cameron. That's a season high. 7th team foul. That last one on Keeker is 3rd, so Valentine on the line for the 1-and-1, hits the front end. Palakis back in now, replacing Keeker. One more toss here for Valentine. Hits both free throws. So Valentine with 3 points tonight. Ball loose on the floor. They dive for it. Got the held ball. Possession arrow going back to Millikin here. Sims was on the floor, tangled up with Miles Olsen. So the held ball, alternate possession arrow, favoring Millikin. They'll get it into Griffin. 5:40 to go. 61-45 Redmen. Griffin able to draw the foul on the dribble around the right side on Miles Olsen.
Number 4, Miles Olsen, his first personal foul. 15 fouls.
That's the 5th on the Redmen here in the half. Big Blue will inbound right to the basket. Flip it up to Sims. Sims got around Stevenson, penetrates to the glass, missing. Rebound, Bentz goes back up, and it goes down. Actually, that was Biggs, 42, with the bucket. Biggs credited with the bucket. 9 points tonight for Biggs. 14-point Redmen advantage. Valentine will hand it off to Olsen. Olsen out to the center circle. Now try to get it to Stevenson, and it's taken away. Along with the steal to Sims, and Sims had his pass broken up by Valentine out of bounds. Under 5 minutes to play. Redmen looking to pick up their 3rd conference win, right themselves here. Sims off the inbound, turnaround shot over Kelson, good. Timeout, Millikin. We'll take a break as well. Be a full timeout. 4:49 remaining. 61-49. Redmond in front. We'll pause. Back after this on AM 1050 WLIP. John Weiser back with you at the Tarble Arena. 4:49 to play. Redmond up 61-49. Carthage ball on the inbounds. Olsen gets it into Stevenson. Back to Olsen. Stevenson. And Olsen turned it over. Sims with the steal and the layup. Suddenly it's a 10-point ball game here. Full court pressure put on by Millikin. Valentine gets it down the floor. Has Stevenson underneath. Stevenson, low right, goes up, counted and one. Well, he got that ball down low from Valentine directly under the basket, but somehow got a jab step. Nathan Biggs was left down there to defend, picks up the foul. Stevenson with a chance to complete the three-point play. Stevenson with 14, looking to add to it here from the stripe. A head shoulder fake and found a step and completes the three-point play. Lead back to 13 now, 64-51. Sims now gets past Keltson, pops over Keltson and hits. Fadeaway jumper by TJ Sims. 22 tonight for Sims in his return to the lineup. Now Logan threw it away. Bad pass. Palakis with the steal and the flush. And Palakis makes it a 9-point game. 64-55. 3:55 remaining. Well, and gone away yet. We talked about that as Logan on the pass was fouled by Palakis. And that's the 9th team foul, so Logan to the line for the 1-and-1.
His first personal foul, 19 foul. Logan at your right hand line.
So Dante Logan will toe the line here. Knocking on the door of a double-double. 8 points, 9 assists tonight. Once again for Logan. Leading assist man in the conference coming into play tonight. Hits the free throw. Van Wyk will check back in for Ryan Case for the Redmen. And hits both free throws. 10 points tonight for Dante Logan. Logan averaging just a little over 5 assists per game at 9 tonight. Now the miss and the rebound. Stevenson, as he went down, they're going to call him for a travel. Stevenson landed awkwardly. Let's hope he's all right. He landed on a foot there, and he is up under his own power. As Big Blue will get the ball following the turnover. They can throw it in the backcourt, which they do. Picked up by Palakis, and Palakis fouled by Valentine as he raced across center court. That's the last one to give. That's the 16th foul on the Redmen. First on Valentine, 6th on the team. Millikin will inbound at midcourt. Carthage holding an 11-point lead. In large part due to the strong starts in both halves. 18-2 run to begin the game. A 12-2 run to start the second half. Now on the penetration, whistle and a foul. Palakis going strong to the basket, able to draw the foul. Valentine, his second straight foul. And that will put the Big Blue at the line, shooting the 1-and-1. Two-shot foul here, and Palakis able to knock it down. Kinman back in. As he replaces Biggs. One more free throw upcoming for Palakis. That one is up and in. 2 for 2 that trip. 9-point game once again. 3:15 to play. 66-57. They're going to try and trap Logan. He gets it across to Keltson. Keltson across to Valentine. Now back to Logan. Keltson, high pass, nearly threw it over the head of Logan. Now to Valentine on the right wing. Left side it goes. Keltson for three. Rattled out, no. An awkward rebound again as it angled back into the corner, picked up by Griffin. And his pass broken up by Logan, unable to come up with it. Sims all alone for three. That clanks off, no good. Rebound, Van Wyk. Van Wyk with 5 boards tonight. To go with 4 blocks. Logan to Valentine. Now foul. Valentine fouled immediately by Long. 10th team foul, so this will be 2 shots here for Sean Valentine. Valentine 3 for 4 at the line tonight. All 3 of his points coming from the stripe. Chance to push the lead back to double digits here. Hits the front end. Coming off a 13-point game in the victory over Elmhurst on Wednesday, off the bench. Ian playing well of late, contributing when he's in there. Makes both free throws, 68-57, 2:25 to play. Griffin will walk it across. Griffin, the team's leading scorer coming into the game here tonight. 17 a game, limited to just 7 points on 2 of 8 shooting. Sims has picked up the slack tonight. TJ Sims 10 for 18, 22 tonight. Sims off to Griffin, right side, 10 to shoot. Back to Sims, lost his balance, now pulls up at the free throw line, came up short. Van Wyk clears the rebound, under 2 minutes to go. Redmond up 68-57, and Logan fouled in the backcourt by Sims. Dante Logan now will get to the line. This will be a 2-shot foul, double bonus the rest of the way out for the Redmen. Logan's free throw good. 11 points tonight for Dante. Strong line again for Dante Logan. 4 of 6 from the floor, 3 of 4 from the line, 5 rebounds, 9 assists tonight for the senior point guard. Keltson comes out, Cruz back in for the Redmen. Logan's free throw good. Logan with a pair here late. 70-57, minute 48 to play. Keeker for 3, glanced off the rim, ping-pongs around, picked up by Parker Day. 3 on the way, good. And a timeout taken by the Big Blue as Biggs sinks the 3-pointer off the wing to make it a 10-point game. Matt Nadelhofer will take a timeout here with 1:36 to play. He's down to 2 timeouts. 70-60, Redmond by 10. Each team in the bonus, Carthage shooting the double bonus. Redmond with 3 timeouts remaining, Millikin with 2, and the possession arrow favoring the Redmen right now. Elsewhere in the league, 3 minutes to go in Rock Island. Augustana clinging to a 6-point lead. Vikings 71, Wheaton 65. Hunter Hill with 22 tonight to lead the way for Augustana, but Braden Tischer, 29 points, 7 of 11 from the floor. He was 13 of 14 from the free throw line for Wheaton, keeping them in that ball game. 71-65 Augie with 3 minutes to play in Rock Island. Elmhurst a 3-point lead over North Central, 41-38, 12 minutes to play in that one. 8 minutes to go in Bloomington. Illinois Wesleyan leading North Park 57-44. Redmond ball, full court press. Put on by Millikin as Stevenson will get it into Logan. Now they'll back it off. Now they'll try and trap Logan as he gets it across. Logan, middle of the floor now to Valentine, back to Logan. Penetrates, now kicks it out to Stevenson, back to Logan at the center circle. Valentin through the top of the circle to Cruz. Back to Logan. Now to Stevenson. 9 on the shot clock. Underneath the Van Wyck, he'll flip it up and in. It's the backdoor cut that time by Van Wyck. 16 tonight for Van Wyck. 72-60, under a minute to play. Keeker had a block, but a foul. Cruz, they're calling him across the arm for Brad Cruz. 8th team foul on the Redmen, so shooting foul here, so it'll be 2 shots for Keeker. Jacob Keeker, 7 points, 8 rebounds tonight. Makes the front end. Kinman back in. Kinman replacing Biggs. Second free throw up and in. Kelson will check in. Cameron Van Wyck comes out. A nice hand for the senior Van Wyck. 4 blocks tonight. 6 of 7 from the floor. 16 points, 6 rebounds. And a foul off the inbound. Kinman picking up the foul, his 4th. We'll walk it all the way down here as the freshman Brad Cruz will toe the line for the Redmen. Cruz with 6 points tonight. Couple of rebounds, couple of assists. Missing on the front end. Van Wyck will check back in, replacing Kelson. 54 seconds to play. Another free throw here for Cruz on the way. This one is good, 1 for 2. Redmen want to take a timeout here. 73-62, Carthage in front, 54 seconds to play. Again, aided by the strong starts in both halves tonight. Carthage 18-2 run to begin the game, a 12-2 run to start the second half. And with 54 seconds remaining here, Bosco just wants to make sure Redmen understand their assignments here. Sure, if you're Matt Nadelhofer, you want to take away 10 minutes tonight. This would be an even game. Erase the first 5 minutes of the first half, expunge the first 5 minutes of the second half, and I think he'd be pleased. Kidman will trigger the inbound, full length here. Parker Day takes it across. Cut off at the baseline, dumps it back. Kinman for 3, got it. Kinman for 3. Cuts it to 8 here. 73-65, and Valentin fouled. And a foul called there. Nearly an intentional foul. Keeker picks up the foul, his 4th. Really tackled Valentin hard that time, kind of awkwardly. Valentin will toe the line here, shooting a pair. 5 points tonight for Valentin. Make it 6. He hits the free throw. Kelson in for Van Wyck. One more free throw here for Valentin. Made it a 3-possession game with that toss. And makes the second. 10-point lead, 75-65. Day quickly down. They'll let him go to the rim. He'll lay it up and in. Again, cuts it to 8 here. 38 seconds to play. Logan needs help, gets it into Valentin. He's fouled immediately by Palakis. Tommy Palakis with the foul, and Valentin will trot back to the free throw line here to my left for the Redmen. Palakis, his 2nd foul. Valentin shooting the double bonus. Free throw up and in for Valentin. Second one on the way for Valentine. Made them both. 4 free throws here in the final minute for Valentine. Kicks it back up to 10. Day again down quickly. Gets it to Kinman for 3 over Stevenson and hits. 7-point game. And now Matt Nadelhofer will take the timeout. 30 seconds to play. 3-possession game. Redmond will have to inbound going the full length. As Nadelhofer takes the timeout, he has 1 remaining. Then the Redmond home Wednesday night hosting North Central. 7 o'clock tip here at the Tarble Arena. We'll get underway with our pregame here on the radio beginning at 6:45. And Carthage hits the road to Wheaton next Saturday. Down at the King Arena, doubleheader. Lady Reds at 5, Redmond at 7. Both games airing on 1050 WLIP. Redmond with 3 players in double figures tonight. Van Wyk with 16, Stevenson with 15, Logan with 12. TJ Sims tonight, 22 in his return. 10 of 19 from the floor tonight for his 22 points. So full court press put on. Day will guard Logan on the inbound. Everybody below the center court stripe here. We'll get it into Valentine. He's immediately double teamed. He turned it over. Kinman picked it off. Gets it back out to Keeker for 3, and he hits. 4-point game. Timeout. Millikin. Valentine turned it over as he was double teamed. And Millikin able to get the 3-point shot to go down by Keeker. And it's a 4-point game. 77-73 with 22 seconds to play. As I said, if you're Matt Nadelhofer, would you like to have those first 5 minutes back of each half? It won't go away. I told you in the beginning of the broadcast, that's this team of grinders. They got down early in both halves, but have fought their way back here. Again, they'll go with the press, and off the break, we got a foul. Kelson, I believe, was fouled. Let's see here. Who are they going to... Keeker picks up the foul. That's his 5th, so he is through. He collided with Cruz in the paint, so this will be Brad Cruz at the line shooting the double bonus. Matt Nadelhofer using his time here to make a substitution. He's going to bring somebody cold in off the bench. Looks like it's going to be Novak here. Novak played just sparingly in that first half. Came in late in that first half. He'll come in here replacing Keeker, who fouls out. Keeker with 12 points off the bench tonight, fouling out. Brad Cruz standing at the line. 22 seconds to go. And a pair of free throws for Cruz. Up and in for Brad Cruz. 8 points tonight for the freshman. Van Wyk will check in, replacing Kelson. Cruz's second free throw is short. Rebound Kinman. Here we go. Final 20 seconds. Day across. Griffin for 3. That one's short. Rebound. Pulled back by Palakis. 3 out of the corner. Head at the side of the backboard. Cruz with the rebound. Gives it off to Logan. Back to Cruz, and he's tackled in the backcourt with 6 seconds left. And the Redmen will hang on for the win here tonight. Kinman picking up the foul, his 5th. 3 players fouling out tonight for Millikin. Agnew fouled out 5 minutes into the second half. Keeker fouling out here late, as did Kinman. And Cruz back at the line here.
Returning to the open lineup, number 32, Zach Long.
Zach Long will come in, replacing Kinman, who's fouled out. Cruz at the line for 2. Atta baby. Made the front end. Chance to get the double figures here for Brad Cruz. And he does. Pair of free throws here. Final 6 seconds to go. Bosko Jurkovic's going to get win number 500 in front of the home faithful here tonight. Parker Day's three-pointer at the buzzer. Doesn't matter. 80-76. Carthage will get it in, and there's your victory for Bosko Jurkovic. Win number 500 in his coaching career. Win number 3 in the conference season for the Redmen. 80-76, your final. It was ugly, but they got it in the win column nonetheless. We'll pause and take a 2-minute timeout. Back to talk with Bosko Jurkovic and recap this ball game for you right after this 2-minute break on AM 1050 WLIP.
And for the victory tonight, Redmen, Coach Bosko Jurkovic has coached his 500th career victory. Congratulations to Coach Jurkovic. Your Redmen return to Tarble Arena on Wednesday night. That's this Wednesday night when they take on CCIW opponent North Central. That tips at 7 p.m. We'll see you then and have a safe trip home.
Well, congratulations to Bosko Jurkovic, picking up win number 500 in his 29-year coaching career. Won his 300th game as a Carthage coach earlier this year. But win number 500 came here tonight as the Redmen knock off Millikin 80-76, your final. Carthage with 2 strong starts here tonight. They went on an 18-2 run to start the ball game tonight. Millikin went 0 for 11 shooting in the first 5 minutes, and Carthage was off to the races, opening up a 9-point lead at the break, 36-27. A 12-2 run to start the second half, built the lead out to 19 twice. Second on a layup by Cameron Van Wyk that made it 48-29 in favor of the Redmen. But Millikin, not to be deterred, started to chip away. He went on a 7-0 run, and on a tip-in by Jacob Keeker, the 8:51 mark, that made it a 12-point game, 52-40. And then we're able to cut it down to 10 with 4 minutes to play on a layup by TJ Sims, 61-51. Finally chipped it down to single digits on a steal and a dunk by Tommy Palakis with 4 minutes left. That made it a 9-point Redmen lead, 64-55. And Carthage was able to regain the ship a little bit here. Steady as she goes, got it to back out to 13 with a minute 50, 70-57, and you felt pretty comfortable at that point. Remained a double-digit lead until the final 45 seconds here on a three-pointer by Elijah Kinman that cut it to 8, 73-65. Keeker fouling on the initial inbound. Valentine then went to the line, made both free throws, built the lead back to 10. But Millikin came right back, cut it to 8, actually knocked it down to 4 late on a three-pointer by Parker Day in the final seconds, and that's your final margin here, 80-76. Redmen take the victory. 4 players in double figures. Van Wyk with 16, Mike Stevenson with 15. Dante Logan, a double-double tonight, an outstanding line for Logan. 12 points, 5 rebounds, 10 assists tonight. And Cruz with 10 points in double figures. 22 tonight for TJ Sims in a losing way. We're joined now by head basketball coach Bosko Jurkovic. And first off, Coach, congratulations. Win number 500 in your coaching career.
Thank you, Johnny.
Redmen tonight got off to a great start. I think the first 5 minutes in both halves, we talked about it in the pregame, imperative tonight. You needed that here tonight to get the win.
We have to play better. That's all it comes down to. Our execution and effort in the second half, not good enough against good teams. Give Millikin credit. Millikin came into this game averaging 4 3-point baskets made a night. We let them have 9 for 18. Their teams had twice as many turnovers as assists. We let them have an even number of assists and turnovers. And I thought the key at Elmhurst was that we attempted 12 more shots in Elmhurst. Tonight we attempted 20 less shots. So whether it was energy, whether it's execution, whether it was putting people in the right places at the right times, we have to play better. Thrilled to death to win a game. We needed a home conference win. The crowd was nice. Huge win for us to get to 3-2, give us some options moving forward. We have to play better.
Schedule breaks in your favor now with several home games here. The only road game over the next 2 weeks is going to be the road game at Wheaton on Saturday.
Again, we probably played better on the road this year than at home, although no one gives away home games. They're fun. Nice crowd tonight. Nice atmosphere with a combination of the football recruits and the track recruits and the local community, and of course our students are terrific. So, hey, if you'd have said 3-2 at this stage, we'd have probably signed on. If you'd have said you win tonight, we'd have probably signed on. We must finish better. We must play better.
Good night tonight for Dante Logan. Looking at his line tonight, I thought he played an outstanding ball game. Your point guard, 12 points. He ended up with 10 assists tonight and really played a strong ball game. I thought 5 rebounds, filled up the stat line tonight.
At this stage, there's too much on his shoulders. He's playing terrific. He guards the other team's best player on the perimeter, assuming he's a 1 or a 2. He has to handle the ball 90% of the time, and then we ask him to distribute it and score it and rebound it, and we have to give him more help. He's played wonderfully during the conference season and deserves a well-earned pat on the back.
He took T.J. Griffin tonight and held him to just 7 points. Griffin coming in averaging 17 a game.
He's done that a number of times. He did that the other night at Elmhurst. He did that tonight. He's done it more often than not. Did a great job in a game that we didn't play well against Augustana with Hill. So has had an exceptional first 5 CCIW games, and now it's on us. We'll see what happens Wednesday night. We're going to practice hard and practice well Monday and Tuesday and see what we have.
And North Central and Elmhurst in a tussle. It's a 2-point game right now with about 3 minutes left. 55-53, Elmhurst on top. It just went final in Rock Island. Augie hangs on 78-74. And North Park has battled back but fell short by 8, 69-61 on the road at Bloomington.
Closer games than you would anticipate all over the building. You would have thought that home teams would have held serve tonight, and for the most part it's perhaps going to end up that way, although the Elmhurst game is very interesting. Elmhurst ahead 3 with 3:40 to go in the ball game. So very, very interesting, very entertaining CCIW, as it always is.
3-2 now, a little bit of momentum finally, a little bit of traction here with your team.
We played well the last 2 weeks. We are what we are as far as size and personnel, and these guys have really taken it to heart. They practice exceptionally well. They really care to see what they can get done. And the last 4 games we played, for the most part, about as well as we can, and I could not be more proud of them.
Bosco, to get to 500 wins, you got to see a lot of basketball games. You got to be in a lot of basketball games. I think you still have to take some pride in the fact that you've been able to pull that off in 29 years of coaching.
John, anybody who coaches this long is in it for the right reasons. They love what they do. I still do that to this day. And to get to 500 wins with the percentage that I've gotten to 500 wins means that I've been a very blessed guy. I've worked for good people, college presidents, college athletic directors, have had great people coaching with me, and players, if I started naming them, I could list 50 of them. And starting from the first year to right now tonight, there's some wonderful people that have done a lot of things to help our programs be the successes that they have been. And, other than Coach McCarroll, who talked me into this business, whether it was a good decision or a bad decision 42 years ago, son of a gun, sometimes I give him a hug for it, and sometimes I'd rather think other things. But, he's the guy who got me started. He's the guy who taught me that preparation and consistency are 2 of the biggest words in this business. Every game's a big game. The next opponent's the most important opponent. And I love Coach like a brother, and he's retired up in Minnesota. We visit from time to time, and he's the one that I should mention. The rest of the guys, they'll understand. I've had some great players. We had a great alumni game this afternoon. We had a wonderful alumni gathering and pizza party after the North Park game about 10 days ago. And, These guys all know that I love them. I love my lovely wife and 3 kids, and it's been a heck of a run. And hey, I'm still enjoying it. Let's see what we can get done Wednesday night. Appreciate it.
My last thing I gotta ask you, you gotta find a hobby for Coach McCarroll. Can he take up bowling or something like that? That would help.
That might be one. He's ruled out most of the other ones I've offered to him, some of which I probably can't say on the air. But he's a great man, and he started to fool around a little bit with the computer. And I don't know if he's watched our game tonight, but I'm sure he'll find out. And he'll be just as thrilled at his protege as I am for the stuff he did for me. So, Johnny, appreciate it.
You bet.
We'll get ready to go and do it again on Wednesday.
All right, Bosco, congratulations and thank you. Bosco Jurkovic, head basketball coach for the Carthage Redmen, picking up win number 500 tonight as the Redmen turn back Millikin 80-76. Started running down some of the numbers for you. Again, Stevenson Van Wyk with 16 points tonight. A season and career best 6 blocks tonight for Cameron Van Wyk. He went 6 of 7 from the floor, 4 of 5 from the line, 16 points in 33 minutes, 6 rebounds, 6 blocks, and 2 steals tonight for Cameron Van Wyk. Mike Stevenson, 15, 5 of 7 from the floor, including a pair of 3-pointers. Stevenson in 28 minutes, 15 points, 3 rebounds. Dante Logan with 12 points tonight. Logan 4 for 6 from the floor, 4 of 5 from the line, collected 5 rebounds, dished out 10 assists tonight, and 12 points, 10 assists, and he defended the other team's leading scorer, TJ Griffin, limiting Griffin to 2 of 9 shooting, 1 of those a 3-pointer, and 7 total points, held him 10 points under his season average tonight by Dante Logan. And 10 points by Brad Cruz. Cruz getting those points at the free throw line late. Cruz 2 of 5 from the floor, including a 3-pointer. He was 5 of 8 from the line tonight in 29 minutes, 10 points for the freshman Brad Cruz. Mike Kelson with 9 off the bench, 3 of 7, including a pair of 3-pointers. Another strong follow-up game for Sean Valentine. He came off the bench for 13 in the win over Elmhurst the other night. Valentine finished with 9 tonight, going 9 of 10 from the line, including 8 for 8, I should say, in the second half, particularly when the game was still in the balance. He stepped to the line in that double bonus situation and made all of his free throws down the stretch. 7 points for Ellis Matthews, 2 points for Kiston Lee. Ryan Case and Miles Olson both played but did not score for the Redmen tonight. In the second half, Carthage 11 of 22, 50%. Just 2 of 8 3-point shooting, but 20 of 22 at the line. For the game, Redmen 52%, 24-46. 3-point shooting, they were 6 of 17, 35%, and 26 for 32 at the free throw line. Meanwhile, for Millikin, second half, Millikin 19 of 37, 51%. For the game, 29 of 66, 43%. They were 6 of 12 for 3-point shooting in the second half, 9 for 18 in the game, and 9 for 12 at the line. TJ Sims with 22 led all scorers tonight. Sims off the bench, returning after missing 3 games. Back in there at 10 of 19, 2 for 3 3-point shooting for his 22 points in 28 minutes. Jacob Keeker with 12 points before fouling out. Nathan Biggs, 12 points tonight. Elijah Kingman with 9. TJ Griffin with 7. 5 points for Parker Day. 4 points for Tommy Palakis. 3 points for Bryn Agnew. And 2 points for Brody Bentz. Rebounding, Carthage out-rebounded the Big Blue 33-31. 9 offensive glass, 24 on the defensive end for the Redmen. Leading rebounder was Van Wyk with 6. Meanwhile, Millikin 14 offensive boards out of their 31 tonight. Their leading rebounder was Keeker with 8. In the second half, Redmen turned the ball over 13 times for a total of 17. Millikin turned it over 7 times in the second half for a total of 11. Carthage with 7 blocks and 2 steals. 6 of those blocks by Van Wyk. He also credited for both steals tonight. And the Redmen pick up the win to go to 3-2 in conference play, and rolling through some of the finals tonight. Augustana hung on and beat Wheaton by a score of 78-74. So Augie maintaining the lead in the conference at 5-0 and 15-1 overall. Illinois Wesleyan keeping pace with their win over North Park tonight. As that was a 76-66 victory for Illinois Wesleyan. And Elmhurst and North Central still playing. 2:18 left. Elmhurst on the road in Naperville tonight, leading by 3, 60-57. So with that game in doubt, the way it looks right now, top half of the conference, Augustana at 5-0, North Central coming in at 3-1, Illinois Wesleyan getting to 4-1 in league play, Elmhurst at 2-2, Carthage moving up into that fourth spot now at 3-2 in conference play, Wheaton and Millikin each at 1-4, and North Park at 0-5, and again pending that result in Naperville. So we do it all over again on Wednesday night. Wednesday night back here at the Tarble Arena as the Redmen, looking for their third conference win in a row, they will host North Central. Ninth-ranked North Central coming into the game, ranked 9th in the nation in D3. And they will be in the building on Wednesday night. 7 o'clock tip. We'll be with you on the broadcast, both on the stream and over 1050 WLIP, beginning at 6:45 on Wednesday night. The women will travel down to Naperville to take on North Central. Earlier tonight, the Lady Reds falling here at home, 75-61 to Millikin, suffering their first conference loss of the season, and forging a three-way tie now for first place in the women's standings, with Carthage, North Central, and Wheaton all at 4-1, and a head-to-head in Naperville against North Central on Wednesday night for the women. Again, we'll be back here Wednesday in the Tarble Arena, Redmond taking on North Central at 7 o'clock. My thanks to Mike Love and John Voinovich producing our video stream here at the Tarble Arena tonight. Also my thanks to Scott DeLabio engineering a victory tonight down at our studios in Pleasant Prairie for WLIP. I'm John Weiser. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. If not, the final outcome. Once again, the final score, the Redmen 80, Millikin 76. Congratulations, Bosko Jurikovic, his 500th career win at home tonight before some 1,200 in attendance tonight here at the Tarble Arena. Until Wednesday, have a great week, everyone. Thank you for tuning into Carthage Athletics, heard exclusively on Kenosha's radio station, AM 1050, WLIP Kenosha. Good night, everyone.